Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Talks with V. We're here for episode 9, streaming live on the HBCU Lounge Network. And we're so happy to be here this evening. Our conversation is going to be about self mastery. And this evening we have our guest, Ken Brisbane. And so, welcome, Ken.
Hi, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And so we're going to kind of, get into it, give everyone an opportunity to share the link, share it on your Facebook, share it with your friends, your family, so they can learn from this conversation tonight. I think that Ken is going to drop a lot of gems. And so you definitely don't want to miss it. So share, 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 and make sure you hit that bell so you can subscribe. And get those alerts for upcoming episodes of Talks with V. And so, over the last few episodes, we have been getting down to the root of what has been preventing us from mastering ourselves. And so it's just interesting how everything has just kind of come together. And I'm so glad that we're talking about this this evening because we've gained a lot of tools and had some time to self-reflect on why, why am I struggling with embracing more of who I really am. And so I'm super excited about this conversation tonight. And I want to go ahead and get into it. So Mr. Ken Brisbane is master of advice, a people builder, and entrepreneur.
Mhm.
And I'm happy to introduce you. So, welcome, Ken. Ken, I would love for you to just tell us a little bit about how it is that you got started and what it is that you do, how you got started, and how long you've been doing what it is that you do.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. So the conversation is right up my alley. My background is the typical background for people that look like this, right? So I don't want to do any trauma porn. It's the typical statistical background, and that's why I do the work that I do. I help people get to from A to Z. I help people with mindset. I help people with seeing the world different. I do abstract ministry. That's my
Mm,
niche. I don't help people with what to think. I help people with how to think. Um,
mm,
I think a lot of people are trapped in binary thinking, thinking either this or that, white or black, up or down. I do a little something different. So I am really focused on the individual. A lot of people are
mm,
focused on the community or the collective. That's not my personal mission. My
mhm,
personal mission is help to build people on an individual level, and I don't use any fluff. I use tools from my own life because I
mm,
wore every hat that every human can wear. So I relate to where a person is from a non-judgmental standpoint. I always know what I'm looking at when someone is talking. So my background, the same, right? We know the story or whatever, but how I got here, how you and I have crossed paths, is because I've went on the journey of the hero's journey or personal development and just
mm.
wanting to be more, right?
Yes.
And just how far can I take it, right? How far can I stretch? And I just believe in that I don't have a ceiling. And
I
I,
love
I didn't used to think that, and I know a lot of people think they do, and that's my job. That's my niche, to help people
that.
see through a different lens so they understand there is no ceiling.
Yes. I love that. That's awesome. Because when you have that perspective, then you're, more open to keep pushing yourself. Ceiling, it limits you. It's like, okay, this is it. Like I can't go any higher. And so um I've learned that, you don't try, past that point. So shoot for more, shoot higher, and then there's a better chance that you're going to see yourself really excel versus having that limited mind, limited perspective on life. So that's awesome. That's dope. Well, I can say that when I heard you speak on Clubhouse, I was like, "Oh, damn, this dude is really talking. facts, you know, and you're definitely a straight shooter. And so I just love that rawness. And that's what I try, you know, to do as well, you know, with my show is, you know, come from a raw approach because I feel like that's what's going to get the job done. That's what's going to help us grow and it's going to help stretch us that capacity and hold us, make us more accountable so that we can continue to grow. Because if you don't have that accountability or not willing to be accountable, it it makes it tough, you know, for you to grow, move past certain things. I think that it helps you cling to the past, and we're trying to move forward and look, you know, towards the future, and also learn how to be present. So, when I heard you on Clubhouse, I was very intrigued. You shared some value, a valuable list of tips for secrets for women to stay out of the underclass.
Mhm.
And with that list, I truly believe that it's transferable to men, I mean, for men and women to be successful. So thank you so much for that. Day or evening, whatever it was. I can't remember. I know it was going for a while and I stayed the whole time. I was like, this is real interesting because it went for 4 hours and I said, this is some good stuff if I'm sticking around for that amount of time. So yeah, so I want to go ahead and speak about the topic, which is self-mastery. And I love to give definitions in the beginning of the show. So we're going to do that. So with self-mastery, the definition of self-mastery is the ability to take control of your own life. It allows you to recognize and understand your thought process, habits, and behaviors. It therefore a choice, the way in which you choose to be within the world. I thought that that was pretty awesome because it says it is a choice, and I think a lot of times, you know, when we hear certain words, we have our own ideas or culturally what it is that we've been taught about the word or the topic, and we are fixated and attached to that. And all the time, that wasn't really, you know, what it meant or, you know, the definition of that particular word. For me, when I first heard, or anytime I heard self mastery, I always thought it had to do with just being very disciplined and perfect. And I had no idea that it's really, you know, more about self acceptance and awareness of, you know, obviously of self, and then you're choosing how it is that you're going to deliver yourself to the world, how you can execute sharing yourself with the world. So I thought that was pretty cool. I would love to hear what your definition is of self mastery.
Well, first we have to conceptualize it for a second, frame it.
Okay.
When you look like this, you don't even know you have a self,
Mm,
because how we're conditioned is to be group thinkers, because it's
mm,
all about the community. So you never once have a conversation about self. You
wow.
never even have an opportunity to self actualize, because you're a group. So all of your decisions are based on what the group wants, what the group
Mm,
thinks. What would Malcolm X do? What would Martin Luther King do? What would W.E.B. Du Bois or John Henry Clark do? Right?
mm,
A ceiling, right? You don't have a self, right? It's all about the community. When you make money, it's about the community. Who you marry, it's about the community. How you
wow.
raise your children
You're
is
right.
about the community. There is no agency, right? And when something goes bad, you can hear it,
Mm,
because no one has this thing that says my fault, right? None of the things that happen is my fault. You know, it's white supremacy, or it's the systematic racism, it
mm,
post-traumatic slave stress, right? You're not dealing with adults. So before we talk about self-mastery, everybody has to admit that they have a self, right?
mm,
And myself, and development of myself is independent of the community, right?
right. Wow.
So
Yeah.
to really step into self-mastery, you first have to accept that you're an individual, right?
Mm,
And there's no community caskets. There's no group caskets, right? So when
Mm.
you engage with the community, it's through consent first. You have to have my
Wow.
consent to make me a part of your group, because
Wow.
I'm going to say something that when you look like this is blasphemy, but I'm going to say it. First
Mm.
off, I come first,
Mm.
not y'all.
It's
I
true.
come first, right? And th- it's important to say that so you can begin to take care of yourself. You
Right.
can't talk about self mastery if you can't take care of yourself, your
Mm.
mental health, your emotional health, your hygiene, right?
Hmm.
Before
Yeah.
I get to the group, what am I doing here with my life?
Right.
Why am I here? Right? And that's important because when you look like this, it's always about the greater good. It's always
Right.
about the community, the community, the community. What community?
I never thought about that.
Right? What? Let's be
You're
honest.
right.
What
You're
community are we
right.
speaking about? Right?
Yeah.
I'm not good, right? And there's no community to help me with if when I'm not good. And when I'm crying, there's no community there. And when I'm
Mm.
broke, busted, and disgusted from bad decisions that I made, there's no community there. And
Right.
and the fact that I didn't grow up with a mom and dad, there's no community there, right? That was
Mm.
the important community that I needed. Well, it wasn't there, right? And then
Hmm.
you run out your house and you join gangs, or you you go down the wrong track looking for this community, and it never
Right.
shows up. And you know what you have to deal with? That reflection every single day. So what
So.
I believe in, you have to get good with that. So if you
Mm.
choose to come into a community, first off, you have something to bring. You have something to offer,
Yes.
and you're not trying to fix yourself in the group, hiding in the group, hoping
Right.
to be healed. I don't believe in that. I stand on my own.
Mm.
I win on my own. I fall on my own. Right? And
Yeah.
there's no group casket. So before we even talk about the self, we have to first embrace that I'm a person first, not
Yeah.
a group of 40 million strangers that I've never met in my life.
Right.
Right?
Right. That's deep. That is deep. And it's, gosh, it's so, you said so many things there, that accepting yourself as an individual. And you are so right. That is something we naturally do. And I've heard that a few times, of that group think. And when you're thinking that way, it does prevent you, back to what I said, was speaking of earlier about the accountability, because it's just like, okay, I do it for the community, but at the same time, if I fail or if this happens and I make a bad decision, what am I doing? Blaming it back on the community, you know? And it's like a ping pong situation where nothing is really getting done except for just a lot of chaos happening, no structure. So wow, that was deep. Well, let's go ahead and move into the list. So with the list, you gave 10 tips, and we're going to go ahead and dive into that. So I'm going to read them through, and then we'll go back to elaborate on what that means, right?
Okay, cool.
So the first one is never put sexual attraction first. Next, we have invest in self improvement. Then third, become the person that your mother or father, so your parents, couldn't. The next one is move in silence. Next, we have be wise as a serpent and gentle as a dove. We've heard that one before. And then train like an athlete. And then new month, new person. And next, unplug from the internet. We need to do that. And be a hard drive shouty. And lastly, become the internet. So that was the list, and I thought that list was very powerful. So let's jump into that. What is, if we can elaborate on never put sexual attraction first?
Good. Okay, cool. So to preference, we was in a clubhouse group where I came up with these, right? So
Mhm.
the group was
Yes.
full of women, but we can make them interchangeable, right? So
Hmm.
it applies to everybody. So what this means is, when I'm gonna pick a partner to
Hmm.
marry or have children with, sexual attraction cannot be the first thing. right?
Mm.
Because we're talking about something long term, right? So we have short term relationships and long term relationships. Short term relationships oftentimes are very hot and spicy and they're passionate, and we might cross certain boundaries that we usually don't do. Things we do might be a bit taboo. It feels great, right?
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
we are enjoying each other in this space, independent of the real world, right?
Right.
The thing about um, passionate relationships like that, they don't integrate well Monday through Friday, right?
Right.
The person that I should be with Monday through Friday, I might not have that same spark, and that's okay. That's
Right.
okay, right? Very
Yeah.
rarely will you have both somebody that you're just passionate like that about, and you fit good when it comes to capitalism, or they fit good when it comes to the day-to-day grind. You need a
Mm.
person, you're going to be in a relationship, it's going to be deaths in the family. What if you are in shock because your mother or father died? You need them to take over. Can they
Right.
handle the funeral arrangements? Do they know how to contact the life insurance people? What about when the children are sick, right? I
Mhm.
can't make that assessment if this is a good long-term partner if I'm looking at the woman's face,
Mm.
right? If I'm looking at her body. You understand?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have all of us have accepted this social monogamy. So
Mm.
we don't have a person that we sleep with and then it's another person that we have a long-term relationship with. So we
Mm.
try to fit everything in one thing, and just
Mhm.
based on optics, it doesn't look like it's working, but we're going to pretend like it's working. But it really isn't though. It really
Right.
isn't. But we're not going to say anything. We're going to keep continuing the same thing over and over again, which is insanity. And we're going to
Right.
pretend like this structure that we're doing is working. So I say,
Right.
never ever put sexual attraction at the top of your list if you
Mhm.
are thinking about marriage or having children.
Mm. That's deep. That is deep. Yeah, we definitely refuse to do what's better, or do what's best, for ourselves, and not thinking about that or keeping that in mind, like in the future, having that partner that's going to be able to be a partner and support you. Looks can't be, on the top of that list,
No,
solely because
no, not at all.
that's
That's
going
a
to get you in trouble.
mistake. That's a huge mistake. That is a you never make long-term decisions based on primal desires. And our
Mm.
primal nature, that's our human side, right? What we call our lower nature, right? We all have a sexual attraction. There's somebody that makes us hot and bothered. We love it, you know. I'm
Hmm.
I'm I'm guilty of it. But at the same time, you have to have the discernment and the wherewithal to cut it off, to say, you know what, this is a great weekend warrior person, but
Right.
this is not the person that I should have a child with. And a lot of these babies are born from just the primal aspect. They are not wanted. They were not planned on paper, right?
Mhm.
The woman did not want to be a mother, and the man did not want to be a father. They are
Right.
just dealing with what happened. And
Right.
in with the way that the world is, you cannot have children that you tolerate. There needs to
Right.
be a plan because you're
Right.
dealing with a human being,
That
right?
needs more. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. That's good. That's good. Okay. So, number two we have is invest in self improvement. Obviously, we need
That's
that.
an important one, especially for people that look like this. And what I say people that look like this is because there's a new name every month. It's Negro, Black, Colored, it's more, it's
African
Hebrew,
American.
it's
Yeah.
you name it, right? So I just say a person that look like this, right? Because I don't know what our name is this week. So I'm gonna just say this right here, right?
Right.
So when our bag is all about how people perceive it, let me tell you what I mean. When
Hmm.
we get the bag, we wear it.
That's
We need
true.
need people to know that we got the money, right? So
Flamboyance.
we wear it. We wear it with the house. We wear it with the car. We wear it with the look. We wear it with the BBL. We wear it, right? But
Hmm.
is what we're wearing self improvement though? No.
Mm.
If you scroll IG, everybody takes the same vacations.
Mm. It's true.
Miami is not a flex, right? Vacation, that's in America.
Right.
Vegas is not a flex, right? What you
Hmm.
don't see is people at national parks. What you don't see is people at museums,
Mm,
right? What you don't see is people using the money to go right back to who they were before when they was a child, which was a nerd. You don't
mm,
see people use the money to nerd out. What you see people use the money for is a flex,
mm,
right? Because we got this thing that we like to call other people broke, right? We
mm.
we like to it's stunting, but the
Right,
stunting is corny though, because the
right.
stunting is not anything that is going to elevate the individual. I never see people stunt with their book collection, buying rare books or antiques, or impress me and buy if you can from a private art dealer get a Mona Lisa or get a
Mm,
Declaration of Independence, or
mm.
can you get the almanac out of the museum and African American History Museum of Benjamin Banneker, right? That's a flex. Like,
Yeah,
yo, right?
hard.
So what I'm saying is use the money to become a nerd, because
Yeah,
you have freed up yourself from the financial burden of bills and things that would surprise you in terms of an emergency. Don't use
right,
your money to just wear it, to put it on
right.
you,
Something
right?
with no value.
Right. So we always nerds. We always kids that wanted to be things, and then the culture does something to us, right? And
Right.
then we lost our way, right?
Mm,
So when you get your bread, get your money to be an interesting individual.
right.
Like,
That's dope.
no flex, because I like to get dressed. No shade. I like to get dressed and do all that. But nails and hair is not a flex,
Mm-hmm.
right? Cars is not a flex. Libraries are a flex, right?
Yeah.
Camping is a flex,
Property, huh?
right? Property. You know what I'm saying? Learning another language is a flex. Learning
And
how to play an
healing.
instrument is
Healing
a
needs to be a
flex.
flex too.
Healing is a flex, right? I live in Arizona. Sedona is a flex. Going
Mm,
to the Grand Canyon and look at everybody's IG pictures. They're all in the club, right?
yeah.
That's
Or
not a
Tulum.
flex. Like, so yeah. So use the money for
I love it.
self improvement. You know,
Okay.
use the money, grind to be a better individual. Don't grind just for pictures. Like,
Yeah. No, that's for real. For real. I love it. Next one we have is become the person that your parents couldn't. So if we can elaborate on that.
I think that we are addicted to symbolism, meaning that we see the picture of granny and grandpa and we want to be it, right? We want to duplicate the exact world that they lived, right? But a
Mm,
living dog is better than a dead lion, right? And though I learned things from the past, I don't want to be them, right? I
right.
actually want to be better than them. I want to be greater than Malcolm X. I know that's blasphemy, but the fact that a person that like Malcolm X or Garvey are more relevant than living people, that's actually a shade to the living people, because
Yeah.
that means we're afraid to be better than our forefathers. Like when we talk about
Mm,
ancestors, we talk about them from a perspective that they're here and we're here, but I'm
mm,
alive, right?
mm. You
So
still have that opportunity to
to,
do
like,
greater
yes,
things, right?
right?
Yeah.
So there's people from the past that they couldn't go to the library like we can and get a free library card and sit there all day and learn. The
Right.
world was a different world, right? And
Right.
people struggled, went to jail, fought for opportunities that we have, and we're not better than those people,
Mm,
right? That's a it's, what are we doing this for, right?
right.
You know,
Right.
you want to stand on a giant's shoulder to see much further than the giant, right? And I
Right.
think we have this thing again, going back to the ceiling, where there's symbols in the culture and images and traditions that we're holding on to, and we're
Mm,
afraid to step forward and carve a new world. We don't know if the other world worked. We're always referencing it like it worked. How do you
that's so,
know?
that's
How
so
do you
deep.
know? Right? Especially
Yeah.
if you're not reading those people's journals,
Mm-hmm.
right? Why? What? How do you know it worked?
Mm,
Right? Well, black love. How do you know they was in love?
Right. Listen, I was telling someone that they reference all the time about us being married and staying married. And it's just like, well, just because we were married and staying married didn't mean that it was functioning. There's a sense of that. Oh, okay, they had love. I hear, some people talk about it. Well, this is not love. It's like, well, you don't know if it was love back then either. It was obligation for a lot of it. There was a lot of dependence, on each other for certain things. So that doesn't say it was love, and it doesn't say that they were happy. It doesn't say that it was really thriving. They may have been surviving but not thriving.
You know
So
what they didn't have? Choice.
that's another thing. So it's like,
So
how can you say that was really love if you didn't have a choice?
they didn't have choice, and the world was ran top down: the church,
Mm,
the
mm,
school, the government, right? The community. So people did what they were told,
right.
right? Especially the woman,
Mm,
right? So the woman didn't have options.
mm-hmm,
Oftentimes, the man, he chose a woman in his vicinity, so he didn't see much unless he went to the military, right?
mm, mm.
And if it was so, uh, if people were so in love like we think, when people had the opportunities to get divorces, why did they take them?
Thank you. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. And it's not that there wasn't some people who, like love that person or grew to love that person or different things like that. But it's just like this idea that it was just so perfect because it was back in the old days. There was obviously some good stuff, but we can't say all of it was good. Especially when there's other opportunities to grow and to be better and to help heal. There's no way that that could have been better, than what's going on or what opportunities and options that we have now. It's
I
just
think
about making those better choices now.
I think we're addicted to pictures,
Mm,
right? The
you're right. You
pictures,
might be
we,
right.
we see the pictures and we like, man, it ain't like it used to be. Everybody always saying like it ain't like it used to be, right? And we're scared to move forward. So when I
Mm,
say mother and father, I'm just not meaning in the house. I'm meaning these cultural mothers and fathers that we
mm.
always lean on,
Yeah,
right?
that's deep.
We lean on Malcolm X or people from the civil rights. We lean on them too much. Oh, they did the work. Now I don't have to do nothing. Now I don't have to take it far, right? We lean on a Michael Jordan or Oprah, right? And we're scared to push past them. But
Yeah,
meanwhile,
settle.
I,
Yeah.
I think Elon Musk wants to be better than Henry Ford,
Mm,
right? I think the people on that side, they look at the past of and like Andrew Carnegie, or they look at John Rockefeller, and they look at him as competition, even though they're dead. If I
mm,
say right now I look at Malcolm X as competition, that's blasphemy. If I
mm.
say I look at Martin Luther King as competition, though I respect what he does do, I want to be better than him. That's
Yeah.
blasphemy. That's
Now that makes
blasphemy.
sense, kid. Now I wanted to say something about because I was talking about this what we're talking about being better than our parents or doing what they couldn't or people like you're stating political figures or people we deemed as heroes. Um, it's interesting because those conversations, parents will say that, like I want in conversation with other people, I want my children to be better than I was, um, and or have that conversation later. But it made me curious that maybe those conversations need to be had when those children are young, when you're explaining to them, like, I did XYZ. I'm not just telling you these stories of how I came up and where I came from for nothing. This is what happened, how I came up. This is what I had to do. And for me, I'm pouring all this into you so that you have the gems of the stuff that I had to learn and what I came prepackaged with. And then you have what you came prepackaged with plus everything that I'm giving you, and then you can be better. You can be stronger. You can do great things. You could soar because you're getting you're getting a couple of legs up. You're getting a boost here with all of this valuable information and life experience. And so I wonder, like, our parents, because I'm not a parent, um, but I wonder if parents are, having those conversations when they're young, like telling your kid, like, I want you to be better than me. It's okay. Like you said, of us being scared, and wanting to just leave the answers just way up here. Whereas, if those ancestors before they went, if they told the next generation, be better than me,
I
go
think that's
go
cap.
further than me. What'd you
That's
say?
that's cap. Let me tell
Hmm.
you why I believe it's cap.
Hmm.
If you want them to be better, then you tell the truth.
Hey, that's
And
deep right
and
there.
and the truth is,
That happening always.
some of us are drunks.
Mm,
The truth is some of us are womanizers. The truth is some of us are on prescription pills. The truth is some of us are scared.
mm,
The truth is some of us procrastinate. The truth is some of us can be further. The truth is I hit your mother sometimes. The truth
mm,
is your father wasn't the guy that I really wanted, right?
mm,
So when we say I want my kid to be better than me, it's actually cap. You actually
mm.
we actually want to know where to find them, right? We want to place them somewhere and always know where to find them. We don't
Mm,
actually want them to grow wings and choose something other than us. Because what happens if you equip them with the full truth and say, you can choose anything, even if you don't choose me? We want to
that's
get
deep.
chose. We don't want the kids to leave us, right?
Mhm.
You don't want them to know that mama is promiscuous. You don't want them to know that daddy gambles, right? So we paint these pictures, right? And we nah, nah. Freedom for the babies, right? I
Mm,
got a kid. I got a kid, and if he don't choose me, that would hurt my feelings. But I
right.
want his freedom more than I want his freedom,
Mm.
right? Even if it's at the expense that he doesn't choose me.
No, that's
He might not think.
I've been saying deep, but it's everything has been pretty deep though. Like that is that's a tough pill, for some, and most won't swallow it. So you're totally right
He
on
might
that.
be repulsed. He might be repulsed by me.
Mm,
I don't know what he's gonna think of me as a grown man. I do my I don't I don't know what I've tried to hide from him that he's seen, right? When
mm.
he's 21 and he makes his own money, he could give me my report card and say, I remember this, and I remember that, and I remember this. And I'm like, oh, right. And if he doesn't want to rock with me, he belongs to the world.
Mm.
He just I was the vessel that brought him here. But he has a right to pick anything you want, even if it's not me. It's just my job to set him up with opportunities to pick, even if what I set him up with, he does not pick me.
Mm.
That's the truth. That's what I want for him, to be an individual, carve out your own way, right? Here's what I think about things. Take things that I say and find the error in them and make them
Mm.
better.
You make
Keep
them better.
improving on the design. Leave me in the dust. I'm a old model. I'm from
Mm.
1983. You represent the new model. I'm the
Right, right,
old
right.
model, right? I'm the
That's
old toys. I'm the old car. I'm on my way out. You the
right.
future. Springboard off me, and I'm not afraid of that
Mm.
because
That's good.
everything that happens on earth stays on earth. I'm not holding on to none.
Mm. I heard this comment that a woman was talking about her daughter, and she says that the truth is that the kids, they're not yours. They don't come from us. They come through us. And I just thought that that was very interesting. I heard my mom say something similar, and I think that that's really something we have to embrace, even before I become a mother, just so I can not have those unhealthy attachments. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And want to dictate and control everything, because I would want my kids to be better, and to soar, and so I don't want to get in the way of that. So it's just nice to learn these things beforehand, so that you can make sure that you're not the person who gets in the way of, your child being successful or anyone that you love. So
Right, right.
definitely. All right. So next we have move in silence.
I said this because
Okay.
people that look like this talk too much,
That is true. I'm
right?
learning.
We have a we have a thing about
From
attention, right? There's a collective low self-esteem and there's an individual low self-esteem. We got to telegraph, right?
mm,
We'll sit in the open and say, we need our own schools, we need our own system, we need our own this. And if I was your enemy, I'm like, oh, that's okay. Own schools, own this, own
right.
that. Always talking out loud about the police and moving silence like the mafia. Now
Mm,
that's as on the group level, but on the individual level, we're always if we're not messing with somebody, we'll put it on social media and tell everybody, I'm
yeah.
not talking to nobody this year. I'm changing my whole number. I'm going back to the way I used to be. Just do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
People will come on your post to tell you they're unfollowing you, right?
Right.
Just move
You.
in silence. When you see
Yeah.
me, you see me. When you get in a new relationship, why do you put the relationship status on social media? When
Mm-hmm.
people see you, they see you. Why is
Right.
it important for the world to know
What
that
you
you're
doing?
with this person?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
You too.
See, I'm not a marriage counselor. So who I'm with, that's not actually part of my thing. When you see me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to put a woman next to me on social media, especially if she's not making no money from it, just so I could be like, oh yeah, this is my baby. You know what that's
Yes.
for? That's for likes. That's for dopamine. I don't get dopamine off likes. I get dopamine off money,
Well,
right? So I don't care about likes, right? So
everyone wants
so
to rock. Yeah, you're
so
right.
we talk too much. You know what I'm saying? You know what's better than talking too much? Doing much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let the work pop off. And then people like, you do this, you did this, and you like, oh yeah, yeah, little something. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. My next book is gonna be about, and then you telling people the chapters and everything. And then
Right.
when somebody takes your ideal, you'll be like, yeah, man, because that's that Eurocentric mindset. You the one that came on here and started talking about your
Right.
plan,
Yeah, that's true.
right? So move
Mm-hmm.
in silence. When they see
Yeah.
you, they see you. You know what's funny about that is the people that run the world, you don't know their name.
Right.
You
They're
don't
not even the richest people in the world are not even on the Forbes list. Like when I heard that, I was like, oh wow, that's wild.
you don't even know them, right?
You
But
don't
you
even
feel them.
know.
But you feel them, right? You
Mm-hmm.
feel power, right? You see how
Mm-hmm.
we're feeling inflation?
Mm-hmm.
Who's doing it?
Right.
Right? When you go to the gas pump and you look like, woo, $60, right? Some humans are making that happen. Who are the humans? Right? We'll say
Wow.
things like, oh, this person is not relevant. That person is not relevant. You know what that means? People aren't talking about you. That's
Mm.
a good thing,
Mm.
right? But if Stephen King is walking down the street, you would never know who it is,
Yeah.
right?
That's
He
true.
writes books, movies, right? Okay, there's kings and queens around the world that are balling. They walking down the street. You never would know who they are. If a
Mm-hmm.
Rothschild family member is walking down the street, you would never know who they are,
Mm.
right? The people that are responsible for making wars happen and that create tanks, missiles, right? Weapons that destroy people, they be out eating lunch and no one knows who they are. They're not
Mm.
relevant, right?
And they're
I
not
will,
addicted to that high, that high that so many of us are addicted to, is you knowing who I am, like posting every little thing. I remember one time a friend of mine, and it just bothered me so much. She was going on a trip and she was just like, at concourse, at this airport, concourse B. What? Like, why would you be doing that? Like, as it's happening, I like to post stuff after,
after, yeah.
Yeah,
After
because after I leave and I'm back, because I feel like if someone wanted to rob you, they know where you at. You telling them details so they know, okay, they this far away. If they were to leave this place, like right now, because it was an emergency, the earliest that they could get home is this amount of time. Like that's crazy to me. It's crazy. That's
so
wild.
people, it's group acceptance. It's
Hmm.
important for this group to give me validation. It's
Right.
important for the group to say, "Oh man, I see you. You look nice," or something, right? And part of self mastery is initiating yourself off of that.
Mm.
That if I don't get any likes today, or nobody tell me I'm cute, that I still feel whole, and I still
Mm.
don't feel like putting a gun in my mouth, right?
Mm.
That I can be alone, but I'm not lonely,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
That if I don't post today, I'm still that person. I'm still that chick. I'm still that dude, right? And it's the addiction of that validation from this thing called community. It is driving these people crazy, right?
Yeah.
So with those telegraphing your moves, always talking about what you're gonna do, 9 times out of 10, it never happens. But the peanut gallery in the comments, yeah,
They're
bro,
gonna
do
like.
it. Yeah, sis, do it. I see
Mhm.
you. First, they're not even gonna buy the book when it come out anyway.
Mm.
They're not even gonna support you anyway.
Yeah.
Just do the work or not.
Yeah. Yeah. That's real. That is real. All right. And so the next one we have is be wise as a serpent and gentle as a dove.
Hmm. So, all right. So the serpent of the Bible is considered evil, but the serpent is an ancient, it's symbolic, right? It's always represented wisdom, right?
Mm.
So it's not literal that a serpent was talking to a person.
Hmm.
Serpent represents people's um thirst for to wake themselves up, right? The
Mm.
serpent represents enlightenment, right?
Mm. Okay.
The, but and the dove represents peace, right? And in some pictures, you'll see the serpent coiled around the dove, right?
Mm. I haven't seen that.
But it also to be war and peace at the same time, right? Like
Mm.
the greatest warriors in the world are very gentle, right?
Wow.
Some of the most violent people in the world appear to be very soft, right? You're trying to avoid war, but when it happens, you go extra, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So the serpent, it scares you at first, right? But it has wisdom. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be as wise as a serpent. You want to be as gentle as a dove. You don't. You definitely don't want to be afraid. You don't want to be afraid, right?
Right.
You want to be the serpent. The serpent is wise, right?
Mm.
But you want to,
Hmm.
but in your wisdom, you want to be gentle though,
I
right?
like that.
So like some people are like super smart, right? Super smart, super ambitious, right? But they wear it. So it's hard. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So you got
That's
to be
interesting.
water at the same time. So
Right.
the
So people
more
can
that
connect with you, too, because that's a hard thing. I think that's a lot of times people struggle with that. I've even heard some people who are really, really like smart and intelligent and have great ideas and they're hardworking. They may perform really high, but when they want to move into other things that to promotions and different things like that, it's harder for them because they don't know how to connect, with people. They don't know how to be soft in the areas that they need to be soft in and be likable, right? And so that's important, to be gentle because sometimes when you are so smart, sometimes there's an arrogance and a hardness that comes along with it. And that can kind of repulse some people. It makes it, it limits you.
you want to be opposites at the same time, right?
Mm,
And be able to swing back between different poles at like that, right? And that's just states of mind. That's what alchemy is. Being able
mm,
to turn base metals into gold or being able to go from one mindset to another, right? But
yeah.
not necessarily binary thinking, oh, this or that. I'm talking about have multiple windows open in your mind that you can walk through, right? So wherever you take this conversation, I can walk into it, right?
Mm,
It doesn't matter what it is, even if I'm not knowledgeable at the top in the topic, I will find somewhere in where you're talking to be able to go in, because as we're talking now, I have as like we're in a sports bar and it's
mm-hmm,
8 TVs. I have
mm,
8 windows in my mind open at the same time, still while being present, right?
love
So
it.
the serpent and the dove would be appear to be opposites, but they're the same. So you want to
Mm.
be wise or warlike, but soft at the same time,
In your
right?
approach.
Right? You
Yeah.
want you want to be firm, right? And fluid at the same time,
Mm.
right? Now, you but you want to be extremely happy and extremely sad at the same time. Let me tell you what I mean by that.
Okay.
That means good day I'm okay, bad day I'm okay,
Mm.
right? So if I make a lot of money today, I don't go ah. I'm like,
Mm. You
all
just
right,
kind of keep it
all
cool.
right, yeah. And if somebody passes away right now, I'm like, because it's technically not the worst day of my life. Every time we say that, something else happens, and that's the worst day, and that's the worst day, and that's the worst day, right?
Yeah,
So
that's a good point.
I'm extremely sad, and I'm extremely happy at the same time, which puts me right here.
In the middle. That's what we're all like seeking, at the end of it is to have that balance and to be centered. That is, to me, I think that that's ultimate, success. In the best place to be is balanced, or centered. So I love that.
I think
I think
people can apply that too in relationships too, right? They get in
mm,
relationships and they make this person the total center of their life. Like
mm,
I don't love like that. Like I love in a way that if a person walks away, we had a good run,
hmm.
right?
So
Yo,
that you enjoyed it while it lasted, huh?
because you know why? Because life has a funny way of taking things from you,
Mm,
right? I don't care how hard you love on that person, death is gonna go like this,
that's true.
right? Your
That's true.
children, everything, right? So that makes you have more of appreciation too and stay present, right? So
Mm,
I'm always in and out of things. I'm in and out.
mm.
It's everything and nothing at the same time.
And that's a hard concept for people to really like uh get it, you know what I mean? But I think that that's very important. I've heard a couple of different, sermons as it relates to children and, partners. You don't want to be to the point that you're so, you would say, in love, but I don't think so. But so obsessed, with someone, outside of yourself, to the point that if something happened that you literally are like, I'm gonna stop breathing right now and this right now today, I get where they say that that's a problem. I mean, it's hard because, obviously you love the people or you're so attached, to them. But if you stay that way and don't learn how to detach yourself, I guess, in a sense, it may take you out. And obviously there's a point, like if you didn't go at that time, right? Or if, it wasn't your choice, like there's something more, that you have left to do. When we talk about death, there's something more that you have left and, more to your journey. And so the people who are depending on that, or the people who are going to be impacted or affected by you, they need you to be here, they need you to be present. So what you're saying, yeah, it would be best, to get to that point where you're able to be both, so that you don't crumble and just lay down and say, take me now.
The
Take me
the
now.
the serpent and dove concept could be applied to everything, right?
Mm,
Because
yeah,
it's everything and nothing at the same time, right? As you and I are speaking right now, we're dying,
yeah,
right? We're dying,
that's true.
right?
That is
So,
true.
but we're living, but we're dying. We're
Mm,
getting closer to when we're our end, right?
Yeah.
So when it makes you be present in all things, right? And when you apply both of those things to everything,
Mm.
like people are focused on trying to be a good person.
Mm.
I'm not focused on trying to be a good person
They're not
because
living. They're not living.
the depending on the situation, I'm not good. If I'm in the
Mm.
car and I cut you off and you're cursing me out, I'm not good to you, right?
Right.
Right? That's too much control, right?
Mm. That's
I
interesting.
focus more on picking the spots and assessing the situation. Because if
Right.
I tell you no, I'm not good. If I tell you yes, I am good,
But that might
right?
be hurting you.
I'm 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 more worried about being good to me. Being
Hmm.
good to me is more important than me being good to other people. Because if I'm good to me, it'll benefit other people though.
Right.
But if
That's true.
I'm focused on being good to the world, I'm gonna suffer. And I'm
Yeah.
not gonna suffer, right? So the world burns first, then I burn. I don't burn first and then the world burn. The world don't
Yeah.
come before me. So I applied the serpent and the dove to every single thing in life. Good day
Mm.
I'm okay, bad day I'm okay. I don't get too high, I don't get too low. I don't over love, I don't under love. It might spike a little bit here and there, but it always comes back to the middle.
Mm. I love it. Very important. Very important. And I know this is kind of hard for some people, but I think that it's a true benefit, to get to those to get to that place. All right. And so we have next is train like an athlete. I love that one.
The train like an athlete thing is like when you see these I play sports young, and the commitment that it takes for men and women to be good physically at something, in terms of diet, in terms of rest, in terms of pushing their body. You see a person like LeBron who for the last 20 years has had a commitment to excellence. He still runs faster than rookies, right? If we take that same concept of the way that an athlete trains and the way that they're dialed in, and we
Mm.
put it into all of our areas in life, you'll have the outcome in terms of the athlete. You might not make $50 million a year, but
Hmm.
you may make 500,000. You may
Yeah.
make 150,000. You may the world will open up to you, right? So you take
Right.
things that the same
More
training
opportunities.
as an athlete, and you put it in your academics, or you put it in your invention, or you put it in your marriage, right? Or
Mm.
you put that focus in the same way that they do on certain things. And we have a too much of a 9 to 5 mentality. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Not the job. I'm not job shaming. What I am shaming is the behavior of
Mm.
when people have a job. And that is up 5 o'clock, I turn my brain off,
Mm. Press.
right?
Yeah.
And I don't turn it back on until 8 o'clock in the morning. So that means
Right.
when I get off work, I chill. It's too much chilling,
Too much chilling.
right? So I
Yeah.
3 hours of TV, BSing on the phone when I get off, gossip, scroll social media. You get off work and you don't do nothing for yourself. You don't keep it going. So if you're going to work on these people's job, which is fine, I'm not job shaming, but now you have to go to the crib and work on the crib, right?
Yeah.
You have to do some things in house. You got children, right? So you
Mhm.
have to now, that's another job. So you have to give them time too, right? So it never stops. Do you know why it never stops? Because it never stops for nothing in nature. Nothing in nature is chilling. Things are either running, right? Running for food or getting chased. Everything in nature is constantly going, right?
Right.
They're not like, oh, I'm so tired. I want to rest in my femininity, or man, I want to be comfortable. The human being is a real interesting animal because the male and female don't really want to do anything. The women want to rest in their
True.
femininity, and the men want to just be comfortable. All we
Yeah.
want to do is eat, drink, and have sex. That's
Yeah.
it.
Can't go like that.
That's it. So
Too much other stuff
that's
to
all
be
we want to
done.
do. That's
Yeah.
that's that's it, right? but
Yeah.
we don't want to max out these bodies. Like,
Mm,
how smart can you be, right?
mm,
How many languages can you learn, right?
right.
Between now, anyone hearing this, between now and the time you die, how much can you really do? I don't know if people have actually sat and thought about that for themselves. What
Right.
can you do? What is your max? Now,
Mm,
you might have a space where you can only jump a certain height, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about productivity. What can you do? And that's what I mean by training like an athlete.
nice. Yeah. Gotta do it. Gotta do it. I like that. How hard basically can I go? What all can I, get done? Um, what's my best? What is my
Yeah.
personal best? And I think that that's something important to keep in mind. So we're gonna go. We have a few more, and so we're gonna try and get through those, I guess, a little quicker because we are coming up on an hour, maybe go a
Okay.
little over.
Okay.
But
Cool.
so the next one we have is new month, new person.
New month, new person is find a person that you admire, that you think is great, and study them for the entire month. Study their
Mm,
flaws, study the things that make them successful, and then study them to the point where they're not great to you anymore. And then you move on, right? So let's just say you do that for the whole year. So that's 12 new people in different fields, whether that's academics, entertainment, it could be military, it could be business, it could be Colin Powell, and then or it could be Bill Gates, or it could be Marilyn Monroe, right? I'm talking about be so consumed in them, learn how they think, their entire behavior, and then they won't be great to you no more, and then you move on, right? That's how you kill the hero worship,
I
right?
like
So
that.
I already did that with Malcolm, so I moved on. Now I do other people, right?
Mm,
So new person, new month. Eh,
nice.
n-
That's
New
good.
month, new person. There we go.
New month, new person. Now that's good. I like that. Let's see. And the next one we have is unplug from the internet. We know that that's necessary sometimes because it is honestly it's kind of toxic to us. But go ahead and share.
Unplugged from the internet means the entertainment aspect of it,
Hmm.
right? A lot of us just
Oh
w-
yeah, no. Unplug. Yeah, unplug from entertainment. Sorry.
unplug from and oh yeah, unplug from entertainment. Yeah, that's all we look. Will smack Chris Rock.
Mm,
Everyone is talking about it,
still
right?
talk about it. Yeah.
Imagine if that was a conversation about the importance of life insurance. Like, yo, do you got life insurance? Do you got life insurance? Right? We get stuck there. Entertainment is actually our religion, right? We want to
Mm,
feel something. We want to watch people running and jumping and playing and gossip, right? But you unplug from that because entertainment just keeps your mind just not knowing what the rest of the world is doing. So unplug from entertainment and give yourself an opportunity to say, I don't know. I don't know about this person's business. I don't know what's going on. I
yeah.
don't know. There's more things even on TV and on the internet than entertainment. And I think that we haven't even given ourselves as a collective, people haven't given themselves opportunity to have an entertainment detox to be like, yo, if they're singing and dancing, like I don't watch dances. Like I'm exhausted from I've watched black people dance all my life. I don't need to see no more dancing. I don't need to see no more singing. I don't need to see no more rapping. I'm exhausted from it,
He said, I don't
right?
need.
And I'm not going to watch a movie unless they're like science fiction or I'm really interested in it. I'm exhausted.
Hey, you're right about that. I mean, it's very interesting that we watch other people live. It's like let's live. Let's have those experiences of our own. So that's really important. Next is be a hard drive shawty. So however
Hard
that transfers to women and men.
hard drive. So for example, this is a 1 terabyte hard drive, right? So all of your work, everything that you have from your family, anything, whether it's pictures, whether it's a safety deposit, passwords, anything, put it
Mm,
on the hard drive. Make
mm,
everything digital. Your deeds, everything. Make everything digital. And this right here is 1 terabyte, right? So
mm.
you got kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes. This is a terabyte right here. This is like $40. You wanna
Okay.
you wanna put all of your family records here, right?
Mm,
And this is actually the way that you're going to pass down generational wealth right here, right?
mm,
Put all your PDFs here, your books, everything. Remember, your grandchildren are not going to be in the are going to be in a born in a different world than you. How are you going
mm,
to pass down information to them? It's going to be different. So you're going to have to pass down information in a way that they're going to be able to understand it. And they speak code, they speak hard drive, they speak
true.
computers, they speak internet, right? So begin to take all of your family stuff and start to digitize it, right?
No,
So
that's
get
good.
yourself hard drives. This right here is 1 terabyte. This holds a lot of information.
Mm. No, I think that that's awesome and very important, because we do lose a lot of information. So many times it's like, oh, well, I lost it, or person moved, or, a fire happened, and if you have it and it's digital, you'll you'll have
Mhm.
it. So that's awesome, awesome, awesome. And then I believe this is the last one is, yeah, become the internet.
Become the internet means that we use the internet, but we don't actually know what we're doing. So take social media, for example. It's called social media. That means talk to people. The only time
Mhm.
we all have to talk to people is when we're debating in comment sections. But I'm talking about meeting people on social media, asking them what they do, figuring
Mm.
out how you can connect with them. They're from a different part of the world than you. Start asking how they make money, what kind of resources do they have, and connect through there. If you can't connect, and leave people alone. Also, you want to take everything that you know, all your knowledge, create, upload, and sell. So when I'm saying become the internet, there's no reason why everybody doesn't have an ebook. It doesn't have to be long. It could be 10 pages. It could be free, or it could be $1, right? So
Mm.
your whole existence, begin to upload it online, right? So I have a saying that I work online, I don't live online. So
Mm.
when I'm saying become the internet, because it's this is the world. So you want to figure out how you can make a living on here. You want to have a domain name and your government name, right? Imagine the places that you work that you're going to be paid through your website, right? You're going
Mm.
to be able to go on your personal website to see how many hours you work. You're not going to be signing into the company. You're going to be signing into your own personal website, and
Mm.
your website is going to be integrated with your jobs or any places that you're getting paid. Kind of like Shopify integrates um with I don't know, Printful, or Shopify integrates with certain websites. You combine them.
Mhm.
So that's how your domain name will be to your workplace. So I'm just saying, get more internet literate, know about SEOs, know about the algorithm. We say the word algorithm, we don't know what it really means, because if we did, we wouldn't click on certain videos. So we don't understand the technology that we're using. So to
Right.
understand it, we need to become it.
Love it. Okay. Oh, those are so good. I love it. I love it. I love it because I feel like it's something that I can even go back to just refresh, myself and remember these things. I think that they're very powerful and different areas that I need to really work on as well. So I love that. Well, last but not least, I would like to ask for those people who are, how would you advise a person um, who is wanting to start or doesn't know how to start this journey of mastering themselves or self mastery? Where do they start? Because it's overwhelming. It can be overwhelming.
The place they start, they actually start in the ugly place, and the ugly place is you have to divorce yourself from humanity. You have to
Mm,
divorce yourself from the community. You have to start to dislike it a little bit, right? So it's just a journey, right? You have
mm,
to be kind of be anti at first,
mm,
right? And that's how you're going to start picking yourself. Things that you used to like, you start to unlike. Things that you used to follow, you start to unfollow, right? You become
mm,
very selfish with your time,
mm,
and not from a disrespectful place, but just actual self-love, right? But
yeah.
first you have to you begin to care about what you can control, right?
Mm,
I'm
that's
watching the stuff about Ukraine a little bit. What can I control?
right.
Can, if I say, "Hey, you guys stop fighting," are they going to? You know, people like they're just distracting you. There's wars going on in the world. Well, that's a distraction. You know what I mean? What can I control? Can I control the interest rates? No. Can I control images they show on TV? No. What I can control is my attention, right? So
Mm,
before we get deep, you just start to pay attention to what you're paying attention to, you
mm,
know, and you pick yourself. Right now, I'm choosing me. Before you
yeah,
start picking up any books or anything like that, you just come to the point where I'm choosing me right now,
yeah,
unapologetically. And they're going
definitely.
to call you everything but a child of God, and you don't care. I'm choosing me. This is
Yeah,
my time. This is my moment. And then from there, you begin to grow and you begin to learn things. But the first stage is a stage of rebellion. You rebel against the world, the entire
yeah,
world, right? You need to
100%.
do that to pick up yourself.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I had to do that. And I realized, I said, at first, especially if you come from like a big family, you're kind of used to being with people, around people, or a lot of noise, all these different things. So it's a struggle, at first, but then you get to learn to like it. And honestly, I feel like I become better, when I spend those times by myself and get quiet, and just because I get to go inward, and I feel like I be getting the juice, when I'm by
Yeah,
myself,
for sure.
and I create more, and I'm able to think about, so many different new ideas. And so, yeah, there's definitely power in that, and divorcing, the world, because then you really get to see how amazing that you are, and what it
Totally.
is that you're contributing, to your everyday life in the world. So I love that. I think that is amazing, in a great way to segue into the end of the show. I definitely want to take this time, that you can share with the viewers how they can reach you, follow you, learn from you. Where is the best place to find you, Ken?
If you wanna learn, I'm on YouTube. Kenny Brisbane at YouTube on YouTube. If you want to reach me, you can reach me at kenbillions.com. You could book a session. I have ebooks on there as well. But just follow me on YouTube where I'm doing the work there, and pushing this abstract ministry, helping people one day at a time, one person at a
Mm,
time, one video at a time, to come out of binary thinking and to start to do to become heretics, meaning to pick themselves, right?
mm,
Put down the
mm.
world and pick yourself up. I promise you it'll be better in the end. It's rough at first, but it makes sense later.
Yes, yes. Well, that was awesome. Well, thank you so much for
Thank you for having me.
spending,
Appreciate you.
yes, for spending your time with us this Sunday evening, and just dropping all these gems. I'm giving this valuable information. We appreciate it. Here at the HBCU Lounge Network and Talks of V family. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in this evening. And check us out in 2 weeks. We will be back here live at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good night.
Thank you.